Yeah, right. So, like, what are we doing in life, I guess? I like being able to rant and talk about not too much without any sort of real effect on things. And the thoughts that I've sort of been pondering, this week is like, why aren't we doing more? And I remember recording a video at a stage last year, probably about 6 months ago, that was just like, just do. And there was a lot of truth to that situation of just do, no matter how crappy it is, how unprofessional it seems, how non-produced, not put together, especially when something like recording a video or audio or sound or anything to do sort of outside a wheelhouse of your specialty. And it's like the very purpose of this is to just be okay with not being good at things. Like it's okay to be bad at things because everyone, when they start a process, is a fool, an idiot, a newbie, doesn't have all the know-how and knowledge and experience and expertise. And so part of just getting it out there is trial runs. And it's like, the purpose of this channel is to just, here's all my trial runs. Here's like a showcase evidence of just doing it, giving it a go, whatever. Maybe there's some improvement from here to here. And it's like, you're trying to find out on that personal level, have I improved a bit? You're trying to find out on that professional level, are there tangible results that you can look at and go like, here's the change. And it's like, one obvious way that something like putting it on social media out in public is to be like, well, okay, we'll look at the view count. Like, is that a good measurement of what is and isn't improvement? But you can't only have one measurement, um, parameter, right? Because I don't check the channel all that regularly in terms of like what the view count is like. What I'm looking for is like, am I being consistent with how I do things, and am I learning the process of what I do? And that's sort of what I'm measuring. Consistency you can measure based on content being produced, and whether it's good or bad isn't the thing that I'm measuring right now in terms of the sheer number of things that are being recorded or made or put out there and put into it. So I think this is kind of like, where I'm going with sort of the new direction of this new wave of energy that I have in getting into this field of things. And it's like, I'm 32 now, being real, 32 and a half. And I still might be making videos at this quality when I'm 40. I don't know. But all I can do is see, okay, well, by the time that I am 40, am I still doing this? Is there one or two new videos since then? There are 10,000 new videos since then. Have I significantly improved what I'm doing? That's one way you can obviously count the measurement. So that's sort of one area that I'm looking in. The other thing is just, obviously, so like the sheer amount of what you're doing is where you can go through different avenues. I might try the podcast thing that I spoke about doing last year, never got around to, get to it, put it out there, have some feedback, and it's like, oh, this is crap as, not the avenue I'm going to go down. Or it might be like, hey, yeah, you're much better with, the voice for radio and for listening to things in the background, that you just actually sit there and record and edit a video, as well as just, hey, get out there and spin some yarn on recorded audio. And that might be the way to look at it, but you don't know that until you sort of try that. You don't know that until you sort of put it out there. And see how I feel as the creator, as the person going on this media-based journey of figuring out how to tell a story. So the purpose for all of this, obviously what I'm trying to do, again, and this is the important thing to remember, is the purpose behind the reason that we do things. And that is not for fame and fortune, and not for clout, not for financial gain. Those are always and always will be side effects of a job well done for things that, not just me, but like that anybody tries to produce. If you lose sight of your purpose in this, and it becomes the purpose of chasing money or fame or clout, or just being able to get through life without having a different job and just being able to chin wag and whatever and get paid for it. I mean, that sounds lovely, but it's like, for some people that's the aspiration. For me, that's not the aspiration. If that's a side effect of what it is, then sure, cool, that's great. But what it is living a life with purpose, where I feel like I am getting out there to produce something that is going to enriching the lives of others, benefit other people. This is me being vulnerable, leading with this vulnerability of, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm putting out this space to say I want to get better at it. So how am I going to go about doing that? And the only way I know how is to just start. And the way that you just start is to just do. And I've figured out how to press record. I've figured out how to get, cameras on you, and recording equipment and to upload. And so, that's part of the whole starting it out journey. And then from there, it's that refining process. It's like, one of the most beautiful things that I've heard in regards to art, right, is like, the canvas is there, and it's like, a lot of the time you splash paint on it, and then you move it and gel it, and you paint over it, and you figure out what it looks like at the end. But it's a learning process throughout the idea of painting. A lot of time, art doesn't just come out as like, here's the canvas. All of a sudden, the first stroke is always going to be the only stroke in that space, and it's the only thing that matters, and that's what the artwork is. Maybe towards the end of your, figuring it out career, that's your process. Or maybe at the very start, that's what you do. And then you realize that you change your style as you go along, and you move from one to the other depending on, how you as an artist work. And that's the beauty of it, is that art is for other people. And so this right now is for me to figure out how I'm doing it. But then it is also for you to figure out, gee, what's this guy doing? Are we going on this journey of looking at this guy to be a big dingus in trying to figure out how he's going to go about putting content together, being vulnerable in front of us? Like, a lot of people, it's like, that's embarrassing for them. It's shameful. It's like, they don't really want a part of it. But for me, like, obviously right now, like, I'm not subjected to like a bunch of comments or people like reaching out to me or, figuring out who I am personally and sort of like vilifying that. So that's not something I really have to worry about. But it's also at the stage of like mentally, I don't think I'm going to worry about that, because again, like, partly being autistic, partly being like I don't really get shame or embarrassed. Like, it's just like, whatever. I mean, you're not going to make me feel one way or another, because I'm very in my own lane in a lot of life. And so this is me being in my lane going like, I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out. And this is bringing me joy in being able to feel like this is who I'm becoming and this is where I'm going. And I'm talking to you about it, and you might be absolutely no one. You might be a bot. This might have 0 views. This might have, 100,000 views. That's not the measurement that I'm looking at. It is purely if I can do this task now today and it gets me to a better task at doing this tomorrow, then it will have been a worth it exercise for me. And if there's a secondary benefit to that 5, 10, 15 years, sometime later in the future, that this is a video that somebody apart from me watches and draws inspiration from, or learns a technique about, or figures out, this is exactly not what not to do, then I'm glad that I have contributed in some way to creating a situation where someone can learn and better and improve themselves. And so that's basically all this is get out there, do. Figure it out as you go along. Be okay with being not great at things. Because the more that, what I've learned, the more that you sort of sit back and feel like, I'd really like to record something. I'd really like to go down this journey of like figuring out how to do things. The more that you get inside your own head, that you're cynical about what you can do. And you realize that you're not gaining any skills from doing that. And that what you can do is not much, because, this is about the extent of how good I can make things right now. I just figured out how to do a few thumbnails yesterday on Canva, so I'm probably, going to do the same dorky looking thing today, and put it on this one and, get another like 6 views or whatever from like bots and just like move on with my life, because that's what I do. And I'm not going to get caught up on, the fact that it's had 6 views a year later from now, or less than that. I'm just going to get caught up on the fact that here's something that I've tried to work on, that I've tried to do, and that hopefully I can look at this in future's time and look back at what I've done and be like, I'm thankful that current me, went through this to get to somewhere down the line where things make a lot more sense. So this is me trying to learn to figure it out. Thanks for coming on the journey with me.